Good morning, everybody. And today, take a look. We are down here and we are going to be visiting the USS Lexington. So she is CV-16, a World War II era aircraft carrier. We're going to take a walk through, do a tour through her today. Now, this could be a multi-part video because she is big. She has multiple spaces. She has 4 different tours on board. So we're going to go ahead, take a look. We're going to board. And let's take a look at the USS Lexington. All right, so right here out front, we have some of the 3-inch guns. A little bit of information that they have out here. All right, so the Lexington, known as the Blue Ghost. A little information there on the guns. All right, so we start off by heading up this long walkway. Here, give you some pictures of the ship. So we walk up towards her. And so if you're ever down in Corpus Christi, want to get a little naval history, this is definitely a place to come and get that. All right, so just so you guys can take a quick peek at this. So you have Tour 1, the flight deck, the Foc'sle, the gallery deck, over to the lower decks, and then the hangar deck, which is where everything starts off. So when you first come in, you are on the hangar deck, and as you can see, it is quite large, and there is a lot of stuff here on board this ship. So let's actually start. We're going to start heading towards the bow of the ship and just see everything that's on here. So there is an escape room called the Lockdown on the Lex here on board. So if you like escape rooms, they do have one. Plenty of photo opportunities. Basically, just hop in, take a quick little photo there with a backdrop behind it so you can look like a World War II pilot there on board. They have an example of the brig. Said another photo opportunity. A lot of photo opportunities here on the hangar deck. Some information about drones and some of the original drones. They do have an elevator here on board if you need elevators. Almost half the century. All right, now this is the entrance up to the flight deck portion of the tour. We're not going to be heading that way yet. Still plenty to see here on the hangar deck. They have models and displays out of jet engines, such as this one here. Then they have a giant model here. Now this is the South Dakota, USS South Dakota, Battleship 57. The steam accumulators. They have another photo opportunity here of a cockpit mock-up to show you guys real quickly. So if you want to hop in, pretend you're a fighter pilot. This is a tow tractor for moving aircraft around on the top deck, up on the flight deck, and down here in the hangar. Another of the 3-inch 50 caliber guns. See more information on the 50 caliber guns. And of course you can see Corpus Christi. That right there is the aquarium. They do have a 3D mega theater on board. They have another photo opportunity. And of course, all these photo opportunities are free, but this one gives you an even different style cockpit. And then, like I said, provides you a nice photo opportunity here on board the ship. Now, this way is the way to Tour 2 up in the Foc'sle. More steam accumulators. Okay, now they do have a Navy Air Combat Simulator on board. $5 for 1 or 2 riders. You know, this is the plane or type of plane that was flown by Lieutenant George Bush. This is an Avengers torpedo bomber. Okay. Now this is a T6. Another photo opportunity.
During wartime, the women who aren't flying are fighting too. Everyone has a job to do.
But those guys in the trenches, those mechanics,
They have videos on board.
3,000 men on the ship, where they were here for one purpose: to keep the ship afloat so that we could take those airplanes off and drop bombs on the fighters to shoot down planes.
Lots of engine displays. This is a J-42 Turbo Wasp.
Workplace and family.
2800 Wasp.
We had to make times. Yeah.
An 1820 Cyclone. All right, now we're moving back towards the aft. Let you know where all the tours are. Right here is where you start section 4, the lower decks. Okay, now this is the Douglas SBD-3 Dauntless. Okay, and these were the forward-facing guns and the rear-facing guns for that aircraft. So they do have restrooms on board the ship. You just got to head down that hatch for the men's restroom. There is a ship store, which is the gift shop right there. There's a couple of Phoenix missiles from the F-14 Tomcat. Now they are constantly doing restoration, different projects. You can see a lot of work going on in there. Okay, they have a Corsair night carrier landing simulator right here. Another aircraft simulator on this side. A 1952 Jeep. Okay, the women's restroom is right here. Now here at the back they have a what they call the mess deck, but they have a snack bar where you can get some snacks, some drinks. And then here at the very back of the ship, the aft or the fantail, which has additional seating for eating, but you also have the opportunity to come out here and get some really good views off of the fantail. So this gives you some information here on the poop deck. To let you know, the fantail is the sternmost deck area of any ship. And we are aft of Hangar Bay 3, right under the flight deck. All right, we're going to head back in. And of course, Lexington does have a live aboard program that they do for scout troops, different activities where you can spend the night on board the ship. All right, so the stairs are definitely steep. Just something to keep in mind. Very steep and very narrow. All right, so it is 3 flights or 3 decks up in order to get up on the flight deck. And then, of course, you can continue on up to the bridge and go up this way. But let's start off out here on the flight deck. All right, so the flight deck is 120,000 square feet. All right. Let's head over this way. Up here they have a 5-inch. Go up here and take a look. I don't know how well we'll be able to see through this glass, but we'll try here. Take a look inside the 5-inch gun. All right, we have the F-14 Tomcat. As you can see, it's marked with Maverick and Goose from the Top Gun movie. But to the best of my knowledge, this was not actually in the movie. I think they just marked it that way. The F-14 is an extremely large aircraft. All right, so this is a Trojan. We have the T-34B Mentor. Okay, this is the T-34C. This is the Corsair 2. The A6 Intruder. This is the A4B Skyhawk. The Sky Warrior. All right. This is a Cobra attack helicopter. And I like this right here on the front. Don't bother running. You will only die tired. Okay, this is another Skyhawk. Okay. This is a Cougar. The F4 Phantom. And this is the Banshee. And this is the T2C Buckeye. And this is an F-18 Hornet, painted up as a Blue Angels aircraft. Now here's a second 5-inch 38 caliber gun here up on the flight deck, and this one we can go in and take a look at here.
These four men performed their duties in crowned up standing position in line near their gun loading train. The entire gun mounted during an uncomfortable and dangerous environment. In addition to hearing machinery and gun noises, the ship pitched and rolled. The mount rapidly rotating left and right, and the guns quickly changing elevation. The air was thick with the acrid odor of burnt black gunpowder and oily mist from the hydraulically powered machinery, which made the gun deck slippery. Grave injuries resulted if anyone slipped or fell on or under one of the guns. Should either the projectile man, powder man, or hot case man suffer a mishap, the entire mountain crew was at risk of an explosive fiery death. Even so, they were highly disciplined and trained warriors who could load and fire the guns every 3 to 4 seconds, 15 to 20 rounds per minute during battle.
So I don't know if you guys heard that, or sorry, I don't know if you guys read that or not inside the gun. It was hard to hear over the video in there. They took out tons of machinery out of this gun, and this gun here had 11 crew members inside it at any one time. Can you imagine having 11 people stuck in there? I mean, that is quite a bit. All right, and that is all of the aircraft and guns up here on the flight deck. Next, we're going to head up in that area up there, and we're going to do the bridge portion of the flight deck tour. All right, we're going to continue on up here. We come back inside the superstructure, and we start to head up again. Few more sets of stairs to go here. All right, this brings us into the chart house and navigation.
I want to find crap out. Brown water shit to me. We're over here at Oxycam Ingleside. I'm going to be departing the DZL 212.
There we have the captain's sea cabin. It's where the captain stayed as close to the bridge as possible in case he was needed. Come up here onto the bridge. Man overboard signal. This is for sending speed indicators to the engine room. Of course, you have your wheel, rudder indicators, compass, maneuvering boards, and you can see out over the flight deck all the way around. Right, this is where the flag bag, where they kept all the flags, were all kept right here. All right, and then you got to head back the way you came, back down, back up here to this set of stairs. And to just give you guys an example, looking down on them, since we've only been going up so far, you can see how steep these are. So definitely be careful when going up and down the stairs. And right here, watch your heads. If you're any taller than I am, definitely be careful. There's a chance you can hit your head. All right, and back down we keep going. All right, so the ship does have an escalator on board. And at first, when I very first came to visit this museum, I thought it was something they put in because it was a museum. Turned out I was way wrong. This escalator was actually put in 1953, and it was to help the pilots get up and down quicker from down below up until the flight deck, making it safer for them. As you can see, there is an escalator. They do have it turned off right now. But yeah, I had no idea that aircraft carrier actually came with escalators on them until I had an opportunity to come here, visit, and read this. All right, so there are restrooms back here near the forecastle if you need to. All right, and we're gonna start off by going up one deck. And there's always signs that let you know which way to go if you ever feel like you're getting lost. Okay. Watch your feet when coming through here. These right here, as you see as you go through the doorways, those are called knee knockers. And if you ever want to know why they're called that, quit paying attention, trip on one of them, and you will definitely find out why they're called that. So watch your footing. All right, so this here is a aviation trainer. It was actually built in 1929. All right, and that's going to put us here in the forecastle. A lot of exhibits in here. Japanese torpedo wooden fins. A Japanese carrier. The catapult water break. There's a lot of information on Pearl Harbor in this area. Model of the USS Arizona. Okay, this is the water break. In this room here. You have some of the anchor chain. This is all of the individuals who lost their lives on the Arizona during Pearl Harbor. Here you have the ropes room where you a lot of rope storage in here. And they have plexiglass over it, but you do have a window up here that you can see out.
The Japanese ambassador to the United States and his colleague delivered to our Secretary of State a powerful line to a freaking American.
And you can see one of the anchor chains going out right through there. Like I said, they have all this plexiglass over so people don't fall through. But of course, normally that would be open. Got some links and chain pieces here on this side. More ropes.
The Japanese government has deliberately stolen.
Big additional rope boom back up in there. Imagine it took quite a lot of rope and very large ropes in order to keep a ship like this still. Got some hatches here that you can push the button, turn on the lights, and just see down. Down there is the main chain ladders and chain storage. More of the anchor chain. Now, fun little fact. See these circles right here on the ropes, and you can even see these on ships still today. Right, they still use these, and those are rat guards, and they're to keep rats from running up the rope and getting on board the ship. And they say the Navy have found that to be the most effective way to keep the rats off the ship is by putting on rat guards. And you can see those on cruise ships. I've seen them on occasion. They do have a theater here. So you can come in. In here they show a little film about Pearl Harbor, but it gives you a place to stop and rest if you need to. There's some pictures of the Foc'sle. If you see right here on the wall, this piece of wood right there, that is called the monster bar. And that is used to lift and move anchor chain links. Because each one of these chain links weighs 130 pounds. All right, now this section of the ship right here, they actually used for filming, okay, in the movie The Pearl Harbor. So if you've ever seen that movie with Ben Affleck, now the Lexington was used as a Japanese carrier. The scenes and stuff were from the Japanese carrier that were filmed aboard this ship. There's a couple of ship's fenders up there. All right, and this is the junior officer's quarter. So we're going to come take a look in here real quick. So you come over to a section, so you got 3 bunks on either side. So 6 people sleep in this area right here. I mean, that is it. And it is not big. Just to give you an example, I'm one person touching a bunk, touching another bunk, and yet 6 people are going to be in this tiny little area right here. I mean, you see, there's not a lot of room. Can you imagine 6 people right in this area? They got drawers, lockers. Let's see, 6 more bunks. And over here they have more lockers, desks, storage units, and 6 more bunks. And of course you can see each bunk is numbered.
John from Robert. What do you think? Hi, and welcome to the Lexington CV2 exhibit on board the USS Lexington CV-16. This exhibit honors the previous Lexington CV2, known as the Lady Lex. The USS Lexington CV2 was sunk at the Battle of the Coral Sea, and the decks you now stand upon were named in her honor. The Lady Lex, along with the USS Yorktown, ambushed Japan's Imperial fleet as it sailed through the Coral Sea. thereby thwarting the invasion of Port Moresby and preserving the safety of northern Australia. The CV-2 was a pioneer in her role as one of the first aircraft carriers of the U.S. Navy and established world speed records, supplied the city of Tacoma, Washington with emergency power, and she led the search for Amelia Earhart. With a high level of confidence, the officers, sailors, and Marines aboard the Lexington CV-2 considered the ship the best in the fleet. There was a sense of pride for all hands serving aboard a ship known as the Queen of the Flat Tops.
Miller,
That is all.
Raymond L. Nicholson, Oliver D.
All right, so the aircraft carrier one right now obviously was not the very first USS Lexington. The very first one was the CV-2, known as the Lady Lex, which of course was sunk during World War II. So they do have a lot of information on her, artifacts.
Smith, Alan E.
Okay. Now this is a ship model of the USS Constellation,
Woods,
okay, which happened to be a Lexington class battle cruiser.
Mr. Men, Tom Carradine.
All right, now we're going to head back down.
Total number of casualties, 222. Light, see upon me. Marshall, USS Lexington.
Got a sailor mopping over there. Okay, volunteers are always needed if you ever want to come volunteer on the USS Lexington. All right, and in here you have the commander's stateroom. Take a look at the little bitty TV. All right, and that is going to bring us back out here onto the flight deck, or sorry, onto the hangar deck, back over here by the 3-inch 50 caliber gun we have over here. All right. First thing it has us doing is going up. All right, so 2 decks up. And these are all of the different Lexingtons. So that's in 1826. The Lexington in 1776, the Lexington in 1943, here's the Lexington from 1861, 1927, 1942. And this one here is also the USS Lexington. So lots of ships have had the USS Lexington name. This is the Battle of the Philippine Sea, the ships that were there. And this brings us to the captain's in-port cabin.
Hi, welcome to my in-port cabin. We're just sitting down for dinner. As the captain, I don't get to spend much time down here when the ship's underway. I'm required to be on the bridge or spend time in my at-sea cabin located just behind the bridge. My responsibilities don't go away whether I'm eating or sleeping, so as such, I may be required to get on the bridge on a moment's notice. And from my at-sea cabin, I can be in my captain's chair in less than 2 minutes. You can see my at-sea cabin if you take Route 1 to the flight deck and then proceed to the navigation bridge. One of my other responsibilities for the United States Navy is to be an ambassador.
You have the captain's pantry.
I'm required to host formal dinners for visiting dignitaries and VIPs.
So the captain has his own small galley here.
In a formal dinner. As you can see from the place, please enjoy the rest of your tour on board USS Lexington, and thank you for visiting.
Of course, he has an office. Captain has a closet, and he actually has a normal size bed all to himself. So yeah, not 6 people in a tiny little area. He gets his own space over there, and you can see over there in the corner, he has an escape hatch right there. And the captain even gets his own restroom with his own shower. Right. So here's more of the captain's gallery. Here's some more of the captain's galley.
My responsibilities don't go away whether I'm eating or sleeping. So as such, I may be required to get on the bridge on a moment's notice. And from my at-sea cabin, I can be in my captain's chair in less than 2 minutes. You can see my at-sea cabin.
Okay, now on this side over here, we are in the Admiral's quarters. So, of course, they have a conference room or a meeting room.
As such, I'm required to host formal dinners for visiting dignitaries and VIPs.
A spot for a closet for the Admiral. The Admiral, of course, gets his own bathroom. And you can see the Admiral space is actually smaller than the captain's. Captain has a much bigger space, has a much bigger bed. But this is where a visiting Admiral would stay on board the ship. All right, so definitely these ones here are very high. So watch your step. View of the captain's office. These ships are definitely a maze. I think if it was not for these tour signs, I could find myself getting lost in here. So here is a ready room. This is where the pilots essentially get ready, brief for flight operations. The pilots would sit here. They'd get a briefing. It's a model of the CV-6 USS Enterprise.
The Enterprise lecture of all that fraudulent and pounds and pounds and pounds in her first offensive of the war. April 42, ship at Shangri-La. Beautiful race took the open the left. Enterprise standing by.
Here is another pilot ready room set up almost how it would be back when the ship was in active duty. And we have another ready room here. We got to come down here and push the button.
Welcome to the VB-19 Ready Room exhibit. This compartment has been restored to create the wartime atmosphere present in 1944. The purpose of the Ready Room on an aircraft carrier was multifunctional. This compartment would act as a staging area where pilots would stand by after being briefed concerning a mission's objective or to be debriefed after a mission was flown. This was also the pilot's battle station. Many hours of waiting took place in this compartment, sometimes only to have the mission scrubbed due to weather conditions or any number of operational situations. This time was passed by playing cards and conversing about home. This ready room was made possible with donations of artifacts and information from members of VB-19. That is all.
All right, so a nice little description there of the ready room. Whites, khakis, the greens, and the service dress blues. All right, and this is the USS Cabot.
The greatest survivor of the battle would be Bible times. The bad blood son herself outlasted her sister.
Another ready room. Now we saw this one through that window right there when we came around. But this also gives you a nice place to sit down, take a break. This is the USS Munda. Torpedo bomber. A Wildcat. Some of these may be hard to see with the glass in the way. The Dauntless. The USS Phillipsburg. And the U-505. All right, so here's the CATCC, which is the Carrier Air Traffic Control Center. And they have it all red lighted in there.
12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I got something coming through the formation. Wait till they come in, wait till they come in. Where's our plane?
Then you have the air operations.
Come on at 2 o'clock. I'll be all right. Wait. Get him, get him, get him. Got it. Shut up. Everybody all right?
And then you have the CIC.
Yes, sir. We have multiple enemy aircraft inbound. Bearing 175 degrees, range 15,000 yards. Recommend general quarters. Aye, aye, sir. Sound general quarters. Hey, do we have a power failure?
Excuse me, sailor. I don't believe there's anything wrong with the lighting. I may have caused that malfunction. And welcome to the Combat Information Center, also known as CSC. This is the tactical center of a warship, providing process information for command and control of the near battle space or area of operations as it is known. This is where all the radar and weapons control systems are operating and where all warfighting and tactical decisions are made. The CSC works very close.
They have a lot of interactive exhibits on board the ship. You push buttons. They have some holograms. Now, this particular area that we're traveling through right now, this is very, 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 very small. So just so you guys can kind of see how small this area is right here. Like I said, I'm only 5'6", and I am only this far from hitting the ceiling. So yeah, if you're taller than me, be careful coming through this particular area right here, because this is a head knocker area right here. You can see all the way back down the hallway here. It's just not very tall. All right, and it has us heading back down. All right, and this is the USS Lexington Library, but of course they are currently closed. All right, so we're going to head down to the lower deck area.
This one's super good.
And so they have a big metal model there of a guided missile cruiser, Boston class. Yeah, definitely let you know, do not turn valves. All right, you have the officer's barber shop. And then right next to that, you have the crew barber shop. So you can get your hair cut right here on board the ship. Now they definitely have a lot of aircraft models in here. Now this is the back side back here, so we'll have to go around to the other side so you can see them up from the front. But just to show you, there's an entire room of models. You have the brass shop.
At 10:49, Lieutenant Say seizes open. He rocks his wings to safety is out.
All right, now we're heading into the crew berthing. We see how the crew lived. All right, so this is currently the second deck berthing compartment. Down below, you'd find more crew berthing, emergency service tanks, service oil, or service fuel oil. It's all kinds of oil and more berthing downstairs. You can see the bunks in here. Boy, who remembers that TV? You had to go up and click the dials. This here shows you an example of how much space they actually had to keep and store stuff. You know, just a blanket, a sheet, and a pillow. Now underneath, in that little space right here, you can see it down here. They have a little storage locker where they can store some more items down in there. All right, next it's going to have us head down again. This is for firefighting.
The machine shop on board Lexington can keep the ship going even when spare parts are not available. Never was this truer than during the early wars when spare parts were hard to come by. Machining was any process in which a
And you have the machine shop.
Before the operation, relative motion is required between tool and the work. On board a ship, the man doing this work is known as a machine repairman. A machine repairman perform organizational maintenance on site equipment and support.
Oh, and if you are hungry, we have found the mess hall. So what's some examples? We got some turkey, ham, cranberry sauce, broccoli, potatoes, corn on the cob, salmon. And if you want to grab some food, keep moving down here through the chow hall. Oh, and you got your desserts. Got some different pies. You got your dinner rolls, your salads, your olives, and your candied jelly. See back there into the galley area. And the scullery. Now this is essentially where the dishes get washed, where you turn everything back in. And it is the dishwashing area. Okay. And then downstairs here you have the ship's laundry. Now we cannot go down in there. Just show you guys down there, they have it blocked off. But that is where the laundry facilities are on board. And now we're going to go out here onto the mess deck area here.
The American Revolution, food and
A condensate pump. Pretty sure the Pepsi machine is new. As we come in and eat.
American soldiers and sailors depended on suppliers like meatpacker Uncle Sam Wilson. In the War of 1812, Wilson stamped his initials U.S. on barrels of meat and secured his place in American history. While field kitchens have traditionally served our troops, today's soldiers often rely on prepackaged meals. I served in the Marine Corps in the 1960s, and back then the standard food in the field was called C ration, C for combat. nutritious, but not at all delicious. Over the
They had a
years,
pizza day.
has evolved into this, the MRE, or Beer Ready to Eat. An improvement in taste and variety. It includes snack food.
Just to give you some numbers here, it says on an average month, the Lexington could consume 4,000 pounds of bacon, 3,000 dozen eggs, 12,000 hamburgers, 9,000 pounds of lettuce. Definitely go through a lot of food. And right next to the mess hall, right next to the mess hall, we have the dentist's office.
Now here's it. Welcome to T Division, better known as the Dental Department. During Lexington's 40 years of service in the U.S. Navy, this 7-room dental clinic was one of the busiest areas on the ship. Unlike today's 7-room clinic, this area consisted of only 2 large units in World War II. During Lexington's construction in 1943, the dental clinic was located exactly where it is today. These spaces have remained a dental clinic throughout the ship's service. The clinic has always been state-of-the-art,
The dental operating room.
whether you needed fillings, a root canal, crowns, bridges, full or partial dentures, or just cleaning, you could get it all.
X-ray.
Lexington's Dental Clinic performed over 12,000 dental procedures a year with up to 35 patients a day. That's a lot of teeth. As you continue through the dental clinic, look carefully at the photos and you will see the changes that took place during Lexington's 40 years of service.
You come get your dental appointment. And you have the chief's office. Down there definitely has not been restored, but down there was the dental stowage and dry provision storeroom. Some information on mines, mine warfare, bombs, Mark 18 bombs. Then there's a small exhibit here to the Texas Navy of 1836 to 1846. To the a little movie.
Where's up?
A Texas Marine. Some cannons on board. This particular cannon is a little odd to see on an aircraft carrier. All right. Now the tour is going to take us down into the engine room. They have the air tanks. A main boiler stop valve. There's definitely some very large engine pieces. All right, now we're going to head down into the engine room. Got the engine here. There were the reduction gears. This is the lock train double reduction gear. You're going to push a button right here and we should get a little story.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and I've been watching over the Lexington since December 4th, 1943. I was part of Repair Party 3 stationed in the mess on the other side of the ship and about 170 feet aft of where I'm standing now. I had 10 friends scattered around the area between frame 184 and 198, all on the third deck. At 23:32, a torpedo struck the side of the ship. The only survivors were 4 of my buddies, including my best friend Roy, that had been sitting on a couch at the aft end of the crew.
And this is the port side propeller shaft. Is down in there.
7 from Repair Party 3, and 2 of my buddies that were on the fantail. Another 35 were injured. Because of the severe damage, 5 of us were left in the damaged spaces until Lexington reached Pearl Harbor. On the 5th, Jimmy and Billy were buried at sea, and 2 of us were never found.
Okay, this is the number 3 turbine. The starboard switchboard controls. They have all that locked up in there because, of course, the ship is still running under power, even if it is shore power. They have the low pressure turbine here. And reduction gears. Then right next to it, they have the high pressure turbine, just to kind of give you a look of it. And everything in this room is very, very big and takes up a lot of space.
Number 4, shaft, unlock the 75 for any maneuvering bells. Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Indicating turns for 15 knots. Aye, aye. Number 4, turning 108 RPM for answering standard bell. All stop. The chief is here.
Hi, and welcome to Lexington's aft engine room. This is the throttle board for the aft starboard turbine. The Lexington was powered by one of the most efficient and dependable propulsion systems ever installed in the United States Navy. On the other side of this bulkhead is the fire room, which is where the steam is produced to power the turbines. We use steam because we can take seawater, turn it into fresh water, then convert the water to steam, and use the energy from the steam, and then reuse the water, reducing dramatically the amount of fuels the ship has to carry. There are 8 boilers in the 4 fire rooms, and 4 high-pressure and 4 low-pressure turbines in the 2 engine rooms. The Lexington is propelled by 4 50-foot diameter propellers on 20-inch shafts. Turbine engines are relatively simple, with a closed-loop system of water and steam to drive the turbines. The steam, with a pressure of 600 psi at 850 degrees, is piped into the high-pressure turbines, where it expands through circular rows of blades. The steam then goes to the low-pressure turbine, where the steam expands in both directions to balance the thrust. In both turbines and rolling blades,
You'd like to take care of it.
269 revolutions per minute, on about 150,000 horsepower total. While in the regular person required to operate each side of this engine.
Number 4, shaft, unlock the 75.
All right, now we head back up.
Aye, aye. Indicating turns for 15 knots. Aye, aye. Jump forward. 108 RPM.
And that brings us back up here on the other side here of the mess area.
The holidays and
Elevator control station. Other side of the chow line or the mess line. This time we're getting some breakfast. We got hash browns, eggs, sausage, bacon, pancakes, waffles. The back side of the machine shop. Get a kind of different looking angle on that one. More of the machine shop area. Up we go. All right, now we have the post office. It's time to let you know this is no longer an active post office, so don't deposit any letters in there. Yeah, a lot of spaces we just cannot enter. All right. That's going to bring us to the warbirds and warships. And this are the models that we saw earlier, but this is this time the front side of all of them. And there are a lot of the airplanes in here. Take a look at that one back there. All the way up through the ages. The airplanes we still see today. Definitely aircraft that are still in use today. On this side we have submarines. The Hornet. And you can't see it very well, or definitely see inside it very well. It's very dark, but that is a bomb elevator for transporting bombs up to the aircraft. All right, now we are heading into sick bay. All right, so first up we have the pharmacy. A storage room for towels. The lab. The X-ray room. That one's probably going to be really hard to see with the low red light in there. But here's the other side of the X-ray. It's the X-ray room. The audio room for checking your hearing. For your optical exams. Exam room. Your doctor's office with the flight surgeon.
Economic pressures. Production was up, unemployment was down. So was New York 6th Avenue, and Real Bay, demolished, sold the Japanese.
Medical supply closet. The emergency room. The diet pantry. For those that are on those special diets. The surgery room. And you have the head or bathroom. As non-Navy people know it, but you got your sinks. And your urinals and your toilets in there, of course. No curtains. Got a shower in there on that side, no curtains. No doors. It's where you come for sick call. Okay. This is the ward for the sick, the wounded, the injured. Put into here. You have the isolation ward for anybody with a contagious disease.
Welcome to the USS Lexington Damage Control Exhibit. This exhibit has been designed and constructed to allow our visitors the opportunity to observe what procedures are initiated in order to maintain the vessel's integrity. A naval warship is subject to a number of conflict situations, such as fire.
And now we're in damage control.
In order to combat these potentially life-threatening scenarios, a number of procedures and devices have been developed.
I do think it's funny, though, that you have all of this damage control stuff right here and then a formal dinner dress uniform. Here's some examples of shoring up for damage control. Okay, this is firefighting equipment. You have the chapel. So down there was the small arms armory. So down there was the small arms armory and the Sparrow missile storage way down there. This be the chaplain's office. And here you also have one of the elevators. Elevator counterbalances, torpedo elevator controls. All right, the USS Houston. A model of the USS Houston. So there are a lot of artifacts, items, information on a lot of ships other than just the Lexington on board this ship. They have a lot of exhibits that have to do with more than just this particular aircraft carrier. All right, and that completes our tour here of the USS Lexington. So if you followed all the videos, we saw the hangar deck, we saw the flight deck, we saw the Foc'sle, the gallery area, and then, of course, this one below decks. She is a very large ship, being an aircraft carrier. There's a ton of stuff to see. Exhibits from not only this ship, but a whole bunch of ships are all on board here. And to truly see it all, enjoy it all, experience it all, you'd have to come and do it. Because for me, at least, touring these things, it's history. But I'm sure if you've toured a museum ship before, they also have a very unique museum ship smell. It's almost like you can smell the history that's involved with them. So I highly recommend you guys come and take a look at that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the full Lexington ship tour. If you have, do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Of course, let you know anytime we do a new video, like touring this beautiful lady behind us. Hope everyone has a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.